important. We talked about this a little bit on the show. How do you, how do you work with people with different viewpoints, and how do you disagree well?
Disagree well. That's a good question. It really hearing what their issues are and then making the counterpoint. Hopefully, if you've done your homework, then you've gotten feedback from the folks that represent your view, and so you can give real life examples too. I think that's really what really makes a difference. As I said earlier, sometimes you've got these great ideas for pieces of legislation, but then when you see it actually turning into the reality, then you find out that it could be very onerous for a business or for any party, and so that's where you have to really hear from the real people to find out what it would really, how it would affect them.
Yeah, so it sounds like you need to do a lot of listening and research and things like that.
Well, I think Mary Pat's right on track with that. There's two scriptures that come to mind. One is be quick to listen and slow to speak. So the more you listen, it is important, because if people don't see you physically listening, right away they know you've tuned them out. Plus, how do you really know how to respond? If you have a premeditated response, what good is it? Why even have the dialogue, right? So it's really important to listen. And the other thing is, the Bible says, study to show yourself approved. You need to look into the issue, right? I mean, you just can't shoot from the hip. I mean, we all, there's certain absolutes, right, that we have to stand on. We have to be firm on our beliefs. So whatever those absolutes are, we know we have to stand on. But we need to be ready to defend them, right? So if we believe a thing for no reason at all, do we really believe it? So knowing what we believe and understanding the importance of that, part of that is being able to articulate it to someone else. And a lot of times people take a position, they could care less what other people think, but is that really what it's all about? And like you said, I think giving examples are so important. Jesus taught in parables, right? He told stories, and it's so important to relate a story to people, and it's much more effective, I find, getting it across. I love when people, when people pay me sometimes a compliment that he's a good storyteller. I love that. Not in the extent that my mother used to say it, but you know what I mean. I like to get a story across, and I think that's so important.